Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Oh Guys podcast, live on twitch.tv/RealNerdCourt. If you didn't already know, I am your host for this evening. I am the connoisseur of wrestling themes, but I'm also super forgetful at the same time. My name is Alex Swisher. Joining me, as always, is my co-host. He is the man called Sting, Chad Porto.
I can accept that. I was hoping for the undeniable Kavorka, but you know what? I'll take that one too because, he's amazing.
Well, if you're the undeniable Kavorka, does that make me the big bad booty daddy?
I mean, it could. Do you want it
Cause,
to be?
cause I'm your tag team partner.
Right. Well, I mean, duh. So, all right, so my dearth of wrestling themes is, how do I put this? Embarrassingly deep.
Yeah.
Are we doing just straight themes and or made for wrestler themes like the new CFO stuff, obviously, or can we use like songs that were used as themes as well?
Yeah, no, you absolutely can. I don't have any of those on. Well, no, actually, I do. I have one song. Well, no, actually, I don't know if they were made for themes, but there are actual songs on there that like are songs. But yeah, like I know one of the guys I was listening to. One of his top five was Enter Sandman.
Yeah,
So
I could see that.
so yeah, I mean, absolutely you can do it. That's the beauty of professional wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, like just to kind of as an example, like the ring struck four thing, that the hashtag that went on Twitter. Look at
Hmm.
how many different matches are on that.
Oh, dude, like,
It's
I I was like, well, I'll do five, and then it's like you can only upload four photos. Like, fuck.
yeah. It was really hard to choose four matches that like influenced me heavily. Like I knew that, and this is regarding wrestling, that Benoit, Triple H, and HBK had to be on there because that's one of my favorite main events of any
Hmm.
WrestleMania. Like, I think the storytelling leading up to that, where Benoit was mainly just a non factor in the story the entire time, and they were trying to tell the story of Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
He felt like a little puppy trying to get attention.
Right, and then when he won, and Eddie comes out and hugs him, and they celebrate in the ring together, it's for that moment, it's heartwarming.
Hmm. And it's hard to take some of those moments and put them in context. And oh, believe me, today is going to test my fandom because Chloe Sullivan got arrested. Now I'm like, Smallville, no.
Oh yeah, I saw that as soon as I got on my, like, logged into my computer when I got home. I was like, oh, I wonder if Chad read that, because I know how much you love Smallville.
Oh God. And here's the thing: I've actually been covering that story for over a year with Marcus. So like, everyone's like, "Well, this is it's now over. The drama is over. It's not, no, no. Now all the details are going to come out, and they're going to be also terrible.
Yeah.
So going to be it's going to be good. All right. So quick little trivia: who's credited with being the first person to come to the ring with music?
Oh
Now it may not be true, but this is always the cult truth, if you will.
man,
He's an '80s star and he headlined a WrestleMania.
he's an '80s star and he headlined a WrestleMania.
Yes, and he appeared in more than WWE cartoons.
Headlined a WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. And he's been in non WWE cartoons.
He's been in non WWE
I
cartoon.
really thought that one was going to give it away. I'll give you two, three, two.
Piper.
Listen up, you maggots!
Slaughter.
Yes, Slaughter.
Oh yeah, because
The
of
Urban Lauder goes.
the Urban Lauder.
Urban Lauder. I'm Urban Lauder. I'm here to talk to you today about crocodile. It's good, fried on the grill, or you just eat it raw. while still moving, and it tries to eat you, but you eat it first. The urban legend goes that Sergeant Slaughter started coming down to ring music first, but that's up for debate. Little bonus points if you can tell me Hulk Hogan's original theme song.
Garbage.
Well, I mean, it was Eye of the Tiger, so yes.
How dare you? I will fucking fight you.
In the iconography of great Rocky themes, that is the worst. Rising up to the beat of something.
No, rising up back on the street.
Don't care.
Fuck you.
I care so little.
Now,
here's the one thing. Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the one thing that always fucks me up with the music is trying to remember if it was Dean Malenko's or Rey Mysterio's music that I liked. Because they're basically the same fucking song. They're both like a march.
Oh, probably Rey's.
It's Dean's.
Oh, is it Dean's?
So, dun, 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 dun. It's like, oh, god damn, this dude's going to kill me, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, Rey's WCW theme was so good.
Yeah, I would say like Dean's is more like a staunch march, while Ray's is more like a gallop.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I wanted to just get this out there, just so we could, because I'm sure you guys said something on one of the other podcasts, but I'd like to just get it out of the way. Just rest in peace to Bruno Sammartino, an icon of professional wrestling, and I said it in my tweet, and I just want to say it again. Without Bruno, there is no modern professional wrestling. He was the foundation, the launching pad, the icon, whatever you want to call him, the living legend. I mean, no one is ever going to have another 7-8 year reign. No one's going to have a total combined reign of like 11 years or whatever it is he had. And no one...
Although Okada's going to try.
Okada will try, but he is the reason that Bruno Mars, stage name is Bruno Mars. Mm-hmm. He's the reason that Arnold Schwarzenegger got into bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. He is a cultural icon, not just a wrestling icon.
And to put some kind of context to everything, back when he was a headliner in the late 60s, early 70s, New York was still very racially divided.
Yeah.
He was the first champion that all ethnic groups, Italians, Puerto Ricans, blacks, and anyone else in that region who felt ostracized could kind of gravitate to.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think people often overlook for some reason. And my great-grandfather talked about Bruno Sammartino quite profusely, him and Joe DiMaggio. They don't make them like they used to. All right. Well, it was better than those damn Irishmen. Just a bunch of drunks. You can't say that, great-grandpa. What are they going to do? Throw potatoes at me? They don't have any. God damn, John, you are a fucking racist, man. But, no, that's not here nor there.
Right.
My great-grandpa was kind of racist. But Bruno was one of those guys that everyone just loved. And while he wasn't the guy who got me into wrestling, like about 10, 15 years ago, I really got into watching a bunch of his matches. And do that Bruno Koloff cage match.
Yeah.
It's as violent as any of them.
Yeah. It's, we definitely lost a real icon of wrestling, and I think I saw a tweet. It may have been yours, but I don't remember. But
I never get credit for shit.
I just have a bad memory. It's just I know on Twitter I saw someone said that Bruno's up in heaven teaching God how to work.
Yeah, that was mine. He's teaching God how to work.
Yeah, he definitely is, because he wasn't one of the best. If you have a Mount Rushmore of wrestling, he's definitely one of the top 4. He's on everybody's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
His talent is undeniable, and everyone always, he did the bear hug. It's so boring, but in matches where he was angry, like with Zbyszko and Koloff, like he threw straight punches at the dude's faces, man. Like he could work. It was just the style, so you have to kind of appreciate for what it is.
And he was a tough, mean bastard too.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say bastard because he's the kindest, sweetest man. He had so much respect for the business, but like
he would chastise you for saying bastard.
Yeah, The man got dropped on his neck by Stan Hansen and finished the match. Broke his neck and was out for I don't even know how long after that, but he still held no ill will towards Stan or anything. It just there will never be another like all around fantastic like five tool player, whatever you want to say about him. There will never be another Bruno Sammartino. So
No. And that's probably a good thing because we have to have someone or at least some people in life that we can compare people to. And
yeah,
Bruno's the guy that I think you compare all wrestlers by, both in the ring and out of the ring. He never refused to do anything.
yeah,
So, by the way, it's not the first because I think Wahoo McDaniel getting his leg broken may have been, but one of the first instances of a genuine heel turn in wrestling was Zbyszko cracking San Martino with that chair.
yeah,
Fans wanted to kill, literally. This isn't hyperbole. Like, whoa, fans wanted to kill John Cena. No, fans don't even know how to throw things anymore, let alone want to kill. But they straight up wanted to kill Zbyszko. Zbyszko needed to have arm protection for a few days. That's insanity. So, R.I.P. Big Man.
yeah.
So we're doing top 10 wrestling themes. We're talking Impact Redemption.
Yep.
We're also talking other things, I'm sure.
Just shooting the shit.
So Pentagon's sticking with Impact for the foreseeable future. Did you hear about this? I heard about it.
No, I haven't, but that's good news.
So he's booked with Impact all the way through June. He's set to work, obviously, this Sunday's Redemption pay-per-view. He's booked to work, or he's being advertised to work for the tapings in Canada, upcoming Monday and Tuesday. To work in June at their one night and only for, I forget which promotion, but it's like it's not the 5, but it's like something like that.
Yeah.
So that's 2 months worth of work right there, and hopefully he sticks around long term because he's one of those guys I think is just phenomenal and could be a genuine draw for this promotion. So yeah, buddy.
So if Pentagon is staying long term, what's going on with Phoenix?
Ray Phoenix. I think he's sticking around too. I mean, they're brothers, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing that I don't want to see is I don't want to see it. Like I am gassed on the Phoenix. I like that. I like how we pronounce that now. That's a fun new thing that we're doing. The Phoenix and the Pentagon match is done to death. I think Major League Wrestling just had like another one, so like I'm good. If I never see another match between them, I'm good. It's Destiny Wrestling. I don't know where that's out of. I think it's out of Canada.
I don't know.
But he's going to be on it, and I know who that guy is. I just don't remember his name. Josh Alexander. He's going to be on it.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. It's going to be interesting. Ontario, Canada. Canada with the Phoenix. So I would expect to see them stick around together because they usually work every promotion together.
Yeah.
But Angelico and Jack Evans aren't going to be working with them in Lucha Underground anytime soon.
Yeah, I know that they're done in Lucha Underground. So, I mean, what does that mean for Jack Evans? Because we know that Jack Evans is a insane person who lives off the grid in Mexico.
Yo.
So he's still with AAA though, right?
He was working with Crash last I saw.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, rumor has it that the Double E's is interested in bringing the Jackery Evans into their fold. Now, what people don't know is, despite the fact that they never paired together on Lucha Underground, Jack Evans and Angelico are actually tag team partners.
Yeah.
Which is why they always wore matching ring gear despite never being in a tag team.
Right.
So the idea would be that they would be brought in together, but Jack Evans, Thackeray Thevens, if you will, is 36, and Angelico is still young at 30. And I don't know if WWE wants to go down this road, Jack Evans, again, because they brought them in before, I want to say. But not Angelico, but Jack Evans, because I think he was with Teddy Hart when they got brought in originally back in the day.
Well, I could see, depending on how things go, my question with that is whether or not Jack Evans wants to fucking tour and be in the States constantly when we know that he's an insane person that lives off the grid. Um, but if they're really planning on bringing forward some cruiserweight tag titles, then I could see that team helping pad out the roster.
I could see that too, especially if you end up bringing in the pair and you make Jack Evans a breakdancer.
Yeah.
Because that would be awesome.
Like
maybe we can get some of those awesome Wrestling Society X revival matches with like no one, because no one in that company is still in WWE.
It's time for the big WWE run. It's time for the big Fed run for Spider Nate Webb.
It's time for that long-awaited Wrestling Society X Invasion angle. Sean Waltman's like, you thought we were done! They bring in the disco machine. Aren't you 50?
Sean Waltman comes in, first match, tears his asshole, he's out.
Biggest name in the feud, gone. Falls faster than the actual invasion angle.
Oh my god.
I could actually see Jack Evans going to Impact. With Teddy doing more work now with Impact, they're best buddies for life.
Yeah.
So, I could see that happening. Where Angelico goes is anyone's guess, because unlike Jack Evans, Angelico still has good standing with everyone.
Yeah.
So like he could go back to CMLL or AAA or Crash. I said back, but he's actually been working with AAA. I think he's worked with CMLL. You know, when you're down there in the Luchaville, you'll work for anyone who's willing to pay you.
Yeah.
He also worked for Torium.
Huh.
Torium? I never know how to pronounce that name. What a weird group. Ultimate Dragon, you have weird names. I
don't know. He would be a good fit in the cruiserweight division, but that's really all I could see him doing in WWE.
Yeah, he's. I love Angelico. I think he's such a talent, but he has no personality. And there's so many guys like Angelico and Jack Evans in the WWE right now.
Yeah,
and that's where the problem lies.
Angelico is like weirdly tall.
Yeah, he's like 6'3".
Yeah, he's a big dude, and he's got a good frame and a good look to him. But like, he's like what, like $180, $190?
Yeah, he's thin, man. Like,
yeah,
he looks more like a small forward in the NBA than he does a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
So, speaking of height, this made me giggle, and we need to bring it up. So, if I was to ask you how tall Eric Young is, 5'8", 5'9"?
Yeah.
He's claiming he's 6 foot.
Nah, there's no way.
Bitch, you 6 foot in lifts. come the fuck on. And like the one guy tweeted him like, dude, I'm 5'8", and we were neck to neck. No, dude, I'm 6 foot. Look it up, 71 centimeters. Fucking
yeah, no, there's no way.
Eric Young, you psychopath. You actually, if he's doing this for shits and giggles, all right. I'm 6'2". All right, yeah, okay. But if he actually thinks that we're gonna buy he's 6 foot, bullshit, bitch. Bobby Roode is 6 foot and he towers over your ass. Man, wrestlers can't accept that they're short sometimes.
It's
the greatest.
You're a big fan of that. Mike...
No, it's a fucking earworm, dude. It gets stuck in your head.
No, I was gonna say you're a big fan of that Mike Kanellis move to Raw.
Oh God.
You know
what is that? So okay, if they move Mike Kanellis to Raw and pair him with Mojo Rawley as a tag team, I'm on board. But if they don't do something with those two dudes, fucking fire them and let them go show what they can do on the indies, because those two dudes are too talented to be fucking homogenized by the WWE machine.
The Miracle and Mojo connection.
The Miracle Mojo. I like that. No, we got to drop the connection and make it a complete triple alliteration. The Miracle Mojo motif. Miracle Mojo.
Masterpiece.
I feel like it's too on the nose. We gotta go obscure.
Well, I mean, it would be more on the nose if we call them Triple M and give them gigantic noses.
No, we call them Triple M, and they come to the ring with sledgehammers, but they're fake sledgehammers. They're blown up sledgehammers, so like they always like limp over, and they always try to bury people. No, they come to the ring with shovels to bury people.
I was gonna say, if we're giving them sledgehammers, we're pretty much just making them the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, it's weird for me to watch two dudes in cloaks beat up minorities with weapons. It sits very funky with
You're making a point that I hadn't recognized,
me.
and I'm
Like, all right,
really upset with this now.
they're not white and they're not full on hoods. Well, no, they're not full on masks. They're just gray hoods, but not great. You know, there's some symbolism there that's not great. Or to quote a line from Boondock Saints, the symbology doesn't work.
The symbology doesn't work.
What would the symbology be? Symbolism. So definitely going to be an interesting couple of months watching the Bludgeon Brothers. They do harken more of a Viking-esque tone, but still, with Vince McMahon being the racist that he is, you can't help but think.
Well, I mean, I would say just go for the Viking thing, but you've already got the fucking... God, what a bad... The War Raiders down in NXT.
Why? Why not just call them War Machine? It's not like you haven't done stupid names in the past.
Because they legally can't.
What
Marvel has a copyright on the name War Machine.
Oh well, that doesn't fucking matter. They had a copyright against Hulk Hogan or against Hulk, and that didn't fucking stand up.
Or might be a trademark. I'm not sure.
Well, the trademark is for fictional properties and animation and movies. Like this would be a different trademark. Now they could challenge it, but it wouldn't hold up. And even then, even if they did challenge it, just don't trademark it. Just fucking put shirts out. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And even if you decide not to do that, even if that's too much of a goddamn hassle, because even talking about it feels like a goddamn hassle.
Yeah.
Pick a different goddamn name.
Yeah, War Raiders is not good.
No, just call them the Raiders. Oh, wait.
Well, then they would suck.
Well, yeah. Well, one of them would blow out a knee and then completely tank the second half of the season.
Ice cold.
Oh, that is ice cold. So, yeah, the War Raiders suck. Just call them Mortal Kombat. Not like that name's ever been used.
Let's call them two Viking dudes.
Call them Toys R Us. No one's using that name anymore. Oh, right.
I don't know. I really can't come up with a good team name for those two because I just know, like, War Machine was such a good name.
Yep. I got it.
Uh-huh.
Richard Karn is selling me bulletproof hosing? Al Borland, why are you selling me bulletproof hosing? I don't need brass bullet hosing. My life is not that destructive that I need to have bulletproof hoses at my house. I mean, I'm interested, but still. Anyway, here's the name. Slaughterhouse 5.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Why not?
Man, what a book.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that was a bug.
Mm-hmm.
Completely forgot about that. Slaughterhouse 6, then.
Well, there's only two of them.
That's the point.
That actually...
All right, fine. Slaughterhouse 3. Really nail it on the head.
That reminds me of something that... So me and my buddy from high school, we used to backyard at his house all the time.
Trampoline?
Sometimes on a trampoline, sometimes we just beat each other up in his backyard or his front yard. It really didn't matter. Like, we never did like body slams or anything unless we were on the trampoline.
Just straight punches, you know.
No, and we would always like... I feel like real dumb about it because like we were doing the gimmicky slap the leg to make a contact noise, but like we never really even got close to the one time.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, the one time I actually did hurt him was on an accident. As I went for a leg drop and the heel of my foot caught him in the face. Yeah, because I was just trying to come down gently. But we used to backyard in his backyard all the time, and we would sometimes with some of our other buddies, me and him would be a tag team, and
Mm-hmm.
we always called ourselves the modern day Four Horsemen, but there were only two of us, so we just started calling ourselves the Four. And there was only two of us, so like we are the Four, and we do the Four Horsemen hand sign and shit like that. And we're like, this makes no goddamn sense. And they're like, and we would like do, yeah,
Works.
we would do fake interviews where we'd be like, where like our buddy would be holding up a microphone and he'd be like, I'm here with the Four. That really doesn't make much sense since there's only two of you. And then my buddy would pull the microphone towards him and he'd go, that's the joke, idiot.
See, it works. So
uh,
I didn't backyard. I basemented.
yeah, we would also do it in his living room too.
So we had this giant fucking pillow, right? And we're maybe 12 or 13. And I was always like, I'm gonna stretch you fuckers. And they're like, stop stretching us. You make it fucking hurt. I'm like, that's the fucking point. And we had this, my one friend Brad. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be like Jeff Hardy and jump and shit. And I'm like, well, that's gonna be easy to beat. And I would just fucking throw him into the clover leaf and just like lock it in. Like, you done yet? All right, I'll let me talk. Okay, you're tapping. But one day he decides to go for a shooting star press. And let me, paint this picture. We're in the fucking basement.
How tall was your basement?
Maybe 8 feet high. And it wasn't even mine, it was his. But here's where it's even more dumb. He does it off a couch.
Yeah.
So already we just seem like the smartest of young men.
So he's going knees first into a ceiling, right?
This is quite literally the definition, the true definition of what boys will be boys means. Doesn't mean anything other than we do dumb things. So Brad, trying to be boys, decides to do the Hardy Swanton bomb,
Yeah.
which I mean it just goes about as well as you can imagine. So he can't just jump in the air because obviously that's going through the ceiling.
He's got to go forward.
He's got to go forward. But the thing is he thinks it's like diving. So he being the diver that he was, that he doesn't think it all the way through. You're supposed to be rolling all the way. And sometimes he got it right, but this particular occasion he didn't. So he leapt and he tried to keep everything like conjoined in like everything, and he ends up putting his arm out and he lands on his arm and his back kind of crinkles up over him and his arm and wrist get caught and it looks like I don't even know what the fuck he was trying to do.
Did he break anything?
Well, here's the best part. So he gets up and he's holding his wrist and it's like and here's like the other four of us. Don't start crying. Don't start crying. Don't start crying. You're gonna get us in trouble. And then he just starts bawling and he sprints upstairs going, Mommy! As he's holding his wrist. And we're all simultaneously, all four of our anuses just slammed shut.
Yeah.
Because we do. We do. My friend Matt and I were like, we don't live here, so, and we just bolted out the side door. He severely sprained his wrist, so he needed to be in a cast for a few weeks. If I remember
Okay,
correctly.
well, it could have been way worse then.
Yeah, but then his mom took the giant pillow that we used and destroyed it, so.
Oh, well, of course. No, I mean, there would be times where we would do stupid stuff. Like, my buddy Chris would sometimes, like, do swantons off the trampoline onto the grass. And we always told him, we're like, Chris, we're not laying there for that. And he's like, I know. He's like, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. So he's just taking flat back bumps onto the grass. And I'm just like,
So you say he's in a wheelchair now?
no, he's fine. Actually, he's what is he doing? I think he's an accountant, actually.
Nah, I'm not going in to get my taxes done.
Nope. I've told him that before. He goes yeah, when I'm yeah, he actually is an accountant. He goes I was talking to him, I think the last time I talked to him was about a year ago. He goes, yeah, if you ever need help with like taxes or financials or anything like that, just give me a shout. I'm more than happy to help you. You're my buddy. And I'm like, the guy who was doing flat back bumps onto the grass off a trampoline? I'm cool. You don't seem like the brightest bulb to me. No,
It's
but
not great.
I remember one time we were on the trampoline and I we were just like trying to find cool ways to counter moves. And so Chris was the only one who was athletic enough that he could do like more than just like a swanton or something. Like I could do a moonsault, but it was not great. And he could do like full on like shooting star press and 630s and stuff like that. So he's like, we got to find a way to counter the shooting star press. And I'm trying to think. This was probably around. We were in high school at this point, so this is probably like when we were 15 or 16. This was probably like 2011 ish. Uh, I think this was after the Orton Seidel spot. Evan Bourne.
It probably pulls out that way.
Yeah, it's probably way after that. So I don't remember what it was, but I was like, what if we counter a shooting star press into a DDT? And he goes, how? And I go, I don't know. Let's figure it out. And he spiked himself on that trampoline trying to figure out a way to counter a shooting star into a DDT. we were
Not the greatest of ideas.
we were he was fine every time. He never he always said that like it hurt when he landed, but it was mainly he said I think the biggest thing that hurt was getting the contact burn from the trampoline. So
Yeah, trampolines suck.
I
I
miss
love
I
trampolines.
miss it. I miss it honestly, but at the same time I don't cuz I'm all beat up and hurt now.
Right? Like now you're getting to that point in your life where you're like, wait, what do you mean I have to start having fiber supplements now?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I'm actually starting to look a lot like Cesaro because both my knees are just covered in tape.
If only you had the muscular definition.
I wish. Then it'd be
Right.
then I'd just be walking around covered in tape like Cesaro.
Right?
That's all I
I'm like 90% sure Cesaro is actually like a skinny dude. Like he's only like 110 pounds, but he tapes the muscles on like it's like a giant shirt, and he just tapes it on, and nobody's figured it out yet.
Well, if he's a real skinny dude, he's very fucking strong.
Oh no, that's actually I figured that out. It's actually the tape to skin ratio contact.
Hmm.
It strengthens his muscles and allows him to rip them apart as he throws people in the air. So
Oh,
he's actually it's like a physical form of steroids.
okay.
He's ludicrous like that.
What was your basement finishing move?
Oh, dude, so all right. So basically, I'm fucking Loki, right? Like, I'm the only one in this fucking group who knew how to fight, and I'm also the only one in this fucking group who knew anything about wrestling moves. So everyone's like, I'll go over on a rock bottom. I'm like, okay, you go over on a rock bottom. So then he goes for the rock bottom, and I just fucking take him down in like a fucking arm bar, and I nearly break his arm until he taps. Oh, you said I was going to win. I said, no. Okay, that's different. So my finishing hold was whatever move I could get to make these punks tap out like the bitches that they were.
You're a dick.
I was, dude. Like, you know that no-armed crossfaces some guys do? Like, they cushion into the shoulder socket
Yeah.
and pull back. I would do that, like, ad nauseum. Like, it
Ugh.
was ridiculous. And it eventually got to a point where, like, Chad can't do submissions. And I'm like, come on! Like, no, you can do a submission out of anything. I'm like, I know, that's the best part. So then I think I took the spine buster as my finisher. I wasn't
Good
allowed to
choice.
win after that, though.
No, we would do like full on. We would book angles and feuds and stuff like that, and do interviews and backstage segments where people are getting jumped from behind and stuff like that. Um, I'm trying to remember, like,
We were more New Japan. We worried about the stuff in the ring.
oh, dude, we were full on like WCW WWF like swerves and fucking like what? Oh, it's Austin. He's Stone Cold Stunner, and shit like that. Like, oh, the general manager just got a fucking power bomb, you know. Um, no, I'm trying to think. What was? I think when we were on the trampoline, I used either uh, I would do a diving elbow drop would be one because I was a huge Macho
Yeah,
Man mark.
I think we all did the diving elbow drop at
Yeah.
one point.
And then the other one would be I always loved the pedigree. Like there was always
Oh yeah.
something about the pedigree that I loved, so I would do the pedigree too. And like, uh, I'm trying to think when we weren't on it, I would do what was I think I did have a submission finish too. Oh, you know how Cabana does his like backwards Boston Crab, the Billy Goat's Curse,
Mm-hmm.
where he's standing forward with them. I would
Mm-hmm.
do that, but with a clover leaf.
Ooh.
I would put on a clover leaf, and then I would stand instead of being over top of them. I'd be on the opposite side, facing the same way as them.
Yeah, and torquing down on it on the ankle and knee
Yeah,
as you kind of fold him forward. I
yeah.
got you. I got you. So when we did the elbow, we actually talked about this a few months ago. The elbow looked so good because Savage landed knee first.
Mhm.
We never figured that out though. So like we're driving elbows into spleens and kidneys, and everyone's like, "How does this not kill people?" We didn't know.
Is
We didn't know.
is Kyrie out there killing people?
I basically.
I think the difference is that like I never hit with my elbow. I always landed with the inside of my. I always hit with my tricep, basically.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we didn't realize that Savage landed on his knee and displaced all the momentum that
Yeah.
way. So fuck it.
Yeah, I never landed on my knee either. Like most of the time, it would just be my tricep just smacking people in the chest, and they would be like, "Ah, that didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would." They're like, I was expecting to be like a piercing elbow into like like into my chest. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to kill you. Like I'm just trying to win the match. It's like, why are you trying to win the match? You're booked to lose. And I'm like, shit, you're right. Oh my god,
So,
we had the worst false finishes of all time. Jim Cornette would be rolling over in his grave if we had that shit on tape.
so your false finishes were so bad you'd kill him and then have him roll over in his grave.
Like,
That's good.
like I'm talking. Oh, we like you would have hated us because it was just one big move after another, false finish, false finish, false finish, false finish, and then it's finally like, oh, big comeback, and then one move, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you cunts.
Yeah, we didn't know anything about storytelling. We just were like, we knew like, like this would have been like what in 2011. So we were like, we were trying to book an X division basically.
Oh God. So my last story on this topic, real simple one. One of our friends who didn't wrestle with us that often came over and he's like, "I'm RVD," and then he did a 5-star frog splash, but he went straight up and hit his head into the ceiling and right into the ground, missed the pill completely, and he's just laid there for 5 minutes. And we're like, "Well, fuck it, let's just keep going over him." And he finally got up. He's like, "Dude, did did you guys did you guys know I was hurt?" "Yeah, but you didn't care, Rushki." That's fucked up.
Oh man.
And then we made fun of him for being a Jehovah's Witness. So. Hey, I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying it happened. That being said, that kid is a giant fucktard. If I ever see him again, I will beat his ass. Not for being a Jehovah's Witness. That was just kind of funny as a kid. But he's like a giant tool, so.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, what else has been going on? Let's see. There's a video on Up Up Down Down you should watch.
Oh God, why?
It's a home run derby in MLB The Show, and it's Xavier Woods, Tyler Breeze, Fandango, and what's that? Aiden English. And they're playing it because Fandango's a huge baseball fan,
Mm-hmm.
and while they're like, uh, what is it? English knows nothing about baseball. He said he's never played baseball in his life. He never watched baseball. He knows nothing. So he's trying to read all the controls of the game, and then
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Breeze is in the back going, "Why are you reading? Just play the game. Let's start hitting some dingers. Hit some dingers. Hit some." And he just throughout the entire episode. Tyler Breeze was in the back just screaming, "I'm banging dingers."
I'll watch this under one caveat.
What's up?
They, if Tyler Breeze, not Tyler Breeze, if Fandango doesn't speak in Fandango voice, I have no interest. Ugh, these controllers are so cool. They're so silky and smooth in my hand. Watch me hit home runs.
Fandango, his name on the show is do you remember how Darren Young was Mr. No Days Off?
Mm-hmm.
Fandango's name is Mr. One Day Off. When they introduce him, not in this episode, it was in a different episode, they introduced him as Mr. One Day Off. He just stands up and screams, 6 days a week!
So I appreciate Breezy doing his best, but you know what? The best heckler in the history of YouTube comment sections, not comment sections per se, but in carousels, if you will, in little courtyards, is definitely goddamn Jay Lethal. Oh look, it's Disco! Hey Disco, get fired! And then he's just stare at Lethal, who's in the audience. Or like the machine guns were on. Oh, you guys are awesome! I fucking love you! Oh, I'm so hard! Fucking Jay Lethal, man. Jay Lethal is a gem to wrestling that we don't deserve.
Jay Lethal's so good. When I was doing that, that hashtag, what is it again? I forget what it's called already. Ringstruck 4?
Yeah, the ring struck 4.
Yeah, I was considering putting one of the matches being Lethal versus Jay Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Championship when he was in the middle of his fucking insane television reign.
Oh, that was such a... I fucking hate Jay Briscoe.
Yeah.
There isn't enough energy in the world for me to convey how much I dislike that man. But I will kind of accept his existence in that feud because I will never not love that whole "that belt made you, I made this belt"
Yeah.
promo, because that's the greatest promo outside of maybe, and like this is debatable, but it's that promo and CM Punk's going to the WWE and signing his contract on the Ring of Honor belt promo.
Yeah.
Those two are quintessential Ring of Honor promos right there. Like those are their watersheds right there.
And again,
fight me if you disagree, people.
That whole reign and that whole feud gave Jay Lethal the best nickname in all of professional wrestling, which is the greatest first generation wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the truth.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
Yeah. So, you want to talk some theme songs?
We can talk some theme songs.
All right. So, I've been watching the New Legacy guys and their universe mode in WWE 2K18, and before every show that they stream, they always have a theme song podcast where they talk about theme songs, and it just, thinking about it, made me want to list out our best / our favorite what we think are the best or what we consider to be our favorite wrestling theme songs. And we are also going to have a bunch of honorable mentions, which we'll do before we get to the actual meat of the segment. So, Chad, you want to hit me with one of your honorable mentions?
1 second, let me just do a count here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. Okay. So I got essentially my 10 down and ready to go. So this one's gonna be hard to narrow down because there's so many different versions. But the one that I need to kind of give an honorable mention nod to is, and I believe it was the theme he used when he was facing off with Jushin Liger on the night Liger became Kissin Liger. So I think that's the theme. It's like Japanese orchids or something like that. Is what it's called. It's a funky ass name.
Which theme? Because you cut out right as you said your theme.
It's like funky. It's something funky in its name, like the Japanese orchids or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like it's like really weird.
Oh, for who?
Muda.
Muda. Okay.
I'm looking up. I Champion Taka, I think,
Champion Taka.
for New Japan. Or maybe it's the Great Muda Concerto.
Probably one of them.
Dun, 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 dun. I think it's the Great Muda Concerto.
Oh,
Yeah, it's definitely the Great Muda Concerto. But
nice. All right.
it's super fuck good. Upsetting it.
Well, I mean, I can't listen to it on stream, so.
I mean, you can. You just opt not to.
Yeah. My first honorable mention, just because it's a good song, is "Bad Guy," which is Razor Ramon's theme, because it's just so cool.
That parlays into my next one, which was the Car Crash Mankind song.
Good
Because
theme.
they both open up with that screeching sound.
Yeah.
Only then Mick Foley's goes into that. Damn it! Damn it!
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I believe "Bad Guy" was based off of "Those Shoes" by the Eagles, if I'm correct in my thinking. So.
Probably.
Adam Cole's "Something for You," his Ring of Honor theme. I always dug a lot. I thought it was a really great theme.
That reminds me of my next one, Kevin Steen's Ring of Honor thing.
Oh, "Unsettling Differences"
Mm-hmm.
by Blue Smock Nancy.
Yeah. It's dun, 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 dun. Ah, so good.
Another honorable mention for me, "Pomp and Circumstance," Macho Man Randy Savage.
I really thought that was gonna make your top 10.
No, I like it, but it's just the graduation song, so.
No, the graduation song is "As we go on, we remember all the times we had together." Sorry.
I don't like this voice that you're doing.
Well, I don't really do high pitched well. I'm more of a deep register. So, like, if I'm gonna go high, I have to just go goofy.
Yeah.
I damn it. Oh yeah. So you're gonna love this one. My next honorable is the Four Horsemen.
Oh, so good.
So good. Quintessential 80s. Quintessential 80s.
My next one, talking about quintessential 80s themes, Real American, Hulk Hogan.
Yep. Yep. Which is ironic because my next one's totally 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho's WCW debut theme, All the Days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so good.
Yeah.
Whoa. Shut up.
Well, someone who teamed with Chris Jericho at one point was Christian, and his original Close Your Eyes theme, the version one where the girl is singing.
Yes.
So good. Really good theme.
Not the terrible Bullet for My Valentine or whoever, Quick Kill Switch Engage or whoever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Yeah.
Ungood. Not good. Honorable mention. The Hardy Boys from back in the day was fun, but I don't like it.
Yeah. I don't know. I still get the breath of nostalgia every time Jeff comes out, but.
How could I forget this one?
Mm-hmm.
Start a line!
Start a line!
Start a line!
Steiner Line is up there with a man called Sting.
Oh, God.
He can do this. He can do that.
I'm sorry, but no. I love Sting more than so many things in life, but no, that was a terrible theme. I will never defend it. But it's like so bad, it has like a sense of charm to it.
Yeah. Another honorable mention, Glorious Domination, Bobby Roode's theme. So
The new one?
Yeah, the one he uses in WWE.
Oh, okay.
I like it. I dig it.
Yeah.
It's a good theme, but it's not good enough to be in my top 10. Uh, Rob Van Dam's One of a Kind.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yep. Uh, you got another one?
Team Canada's.
Oh, Team Canada's theme is so good. I still want their TNA shirt.
It's not TNA, it's TNA.
I want the TNA shirt so bad. I can't find it anywhere.
Can you not find one on like eBay?
I gotta keep looking. Like, I've tried, but I might be able to find one in like eBay's darkest corners. Who knows? Um, Speaking of a Canadian, Edge's Rob Zombie's Never Gonna Stop theme. Because, yeah, my Durango, number 95.
My last two will be Our Lady Peace that Benoit did.
Yep.
That's a cool song. And Mavens.
Oh, Maven's theme. There are two things about Maven that were really good. His theme and that drop kick.
All right.
And then,
any other honorable mentions?
yeah, I got
you?
two final honorable mentions. What a Rush, the Road Warriors theme.
Okay.
And My World, Jeff Jarrett's TNA theme.
That's a good song.
All right. So you want to start or you want me to start?
Ooh, Mike Awesome's Awesome Bomb song.
Awesome is his name. All his victims will feel the pain.
Just buy the rights to this song, and WCW would have been able to use him perfectly. I'll go first.
All right.
So my 10 are unorganized at the moment. So clarity, sense of clarity.
Just hit me with your number 10.
I will go with the NWO Wolfpack theme.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wolfpack is back, the mass destruction. That was actually our football theme song because our defense was called the Wolfpack. So, yeah.
Guess who it is?
Irrelevant knowledge for you.
The Bad Boys of Wrestling.
Shane Taylor, Ring of Honor's own Shane Taylor, had to listen to that song every day for 2 years, and he fucking hated it.
I love that theme. It's so good.
It's so good, but he was offensive. He's like, you guys fucking suck. We're like, I'll just pick a song. Mark. Fuck you. Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Shep? Because his name's actually Shane Taylor.
Oh, God forbid he have a ring name.
Right.
All right, my number 10 is the greatest Kane theme of all time. Slow Chemical.
Yeah, I was about to say the song from the Punisher soundtrack.
The wonder of the world is gone. I'm here. Yeah. It's so good.
That soundtrack is so good. That
You're right.
movie's so good. Top is
right.
Jade. I love it.
Yep. That is the greatest Kane theme of all time. Anybody who thinks otherwise can fight me.
Agreedo. Because Kane shot first.
Sure.
Number 9 for me is going to be the amazing. No, that's not how it actually goes. It's like Dean Malengo's theme song from back in the WCW days.
I'll see.
It's just. No, you're getting your ass kicked listening to that song. Like you hear it. And
every time I hear Dean Malenko's name, one line comes into my head.
What's that?
That's not Cyclope.
That's Dean Malenko.
Let's see here. World Championship Wrestling. Would it be Black Knight? Is that the name of it? Considering the other two songs are called Revolution Theme and Four Horsemen Theme.
Who are we talking about?
Dean Malenko.
Oh, I think so.
Well,
I like his other names. Revolution Theme, which is technically just Marilyn Manson.
And, Revolution Theme by Jimmy Hart as part of The Revolution, and then Four Horsemen Theme by Jimmy Hart as part of The Four Horsemen. So...
Yeah, I think it would be the Black Knight theme by Andrew Grissot and Paul Williams.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be my thought.
I
think it's funny as fuck he came up with Deep Purple at one point.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I just listened to it. It's the Black Knight.
He also came out to Salt and Pepper.
But that's perfect. That is so perfect because he is what a man. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a man, a
Yep.
man.
My number 9. Chad, I have to ask you a question about my number 9.
I can give you an answer for your number
Well,
nine.
actually, it's not even a question. It's more of a
Then I
statement.
can.
It's a warning, really.
Okay.
Chad, if you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia,
Oh,
fucking
this is a WWE theme, by the way. Final Time WCW thing.
hard times, big boss man. You know, it's
It's pretty good.
I love it. It's if you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, you
You
better
should
walk
take
the
a trip
line.
down to Cobb County, Georgia, and check out the old prison facility he worked at. And then I can
Respect the
lock
law
you.
and order.
Then I can lock you into one of those cells and then laugh maniacally as I just leave you there for the next 10 to 15 years.
Wow, rude.
Rude.
Yeah, no, I love that theme though. It's his other theme was really good too. Sublock.
Yeah, yeah. His attitude era thing.
Yeah, dunner dunner dunner. Wow.
It's very similar to Stone Cold's.
Yeah, you're right.
It really is.
All right, hit me.
So what are we on 8?
Number 8.
Okay. I love him. I love him so, but I can't give it any higher than. I'm going with Sting and his. Metallica Seek and Destroy.
Oh yeah.
I know his Crow theme is up there, but this song as a kid, just like I wanted to punch somebody when I heard it. Yeah, it's time to punch a bitch. Ah! And my friend Brad would be like, "What? Punch me, bitch?" And then he'd be like, "Your words hurt worse than your fist." And then he'd like throw me off his couch and I'd break a neck or something. We had a very violent relationship. So yeah, definitely Seek and Destroy. Although the Crow theme is up there too.
What's your opinion on his TNA theme?
He dealt with it for over 10 years, so they can't really say anything about it.
I always liked his TNA theme.
I never I was indifferent to his TNA theme.
What?
I thought it was better than any of his WCW themes before he turned into the Crow, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's better than a man called Sting.
What's your opinion on the main event Mafia theme?
I love that theme.
That theme is really good.
Fantastic.
Theme is really good. All right, my number 8. Going from a scorpion to a snake is Jake Roberts' first theme, Snake Bit.
Theme. When that played on the Raw, what was it, 1000th episode or whatever, when CM Punk was getting beat up by the Shield.
Oh no, the old school Raw.
Yeah, that's what it was, old school Raw, and that song came on. Oh,
I'm so glad they went with that one and not Trust Me.
Oh yeah, that one's terrible.
Because I don't really like that one, but this, oh man, it's so good.
You know who you can't trust? Davey Boy Smith Jr. He's wanted for a talking. I mean, he's not dead or alive. I mean,
Yeah.
All you did was throw coffee on somebody. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not a dead or alive kind of want.
let's not go around challenging 60-year-old men to fights and then throwing coffee in their face, especially
Right,
when
like-
they're respected legends in this business.
Well, rehabilitated perspective.
Right,
10 years
of course.
ago, everyone would have been cheering this.
Right, but I mean, obviously, he did things while under in the influence of substances, and he wasn't in his right mind. But again, it's
Right.
no
You still have to take
excuses. No
Right, you still have
excuses.
to take responsibility.
Yeah.
But Davey Boy, like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, don't be a coward like that. And
I can see that family lineage, though, runs deep, because his father had the same attitude,
yeah,
where he would pick on people, and his uncle, the Dynamite Kid, was also a piece of shit, so, you know. I don't think Davey Boy's a piece of shit. I think he's a 32-year-old who doesn't know how to act like an adult.
I think he needs to get that Hart family temper in check.
Right? I think he needs to call Teddy and ask for like one of those therapy cats.
Yeah. Number 7, Chad.
So now I'm getting to the point where I'm having to figure out which one. It's like, which kid do I want to throw out next?
We're getting to a real Sophie's Choice moment.
Here's your choice. Have the abortion beforehand, bitch.
Ah!
Hey, yeah, she's bragging about the end of the fucking. No, she does not get off on that one.
Yeah, no.
Oh wait, my baby's gonna bring the end of the. Yes, kill the baby. Do it. Just. All right, we're good. World saved. Sweet. Oh no, is that Rosemary's Baby? I think that's Rosemary's Baby. I'm sorry. I think I may have been getting my movies confused.
I was gonna say we're definitely not talking about the same movie.
Apparently not. No, I was thinking Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary should have had the abortion. She gave birth to the Antichrist. Fucking Rosemary. Which is actually kind of apropos. I think that's why, what's her name? Courtney Rush? I think that's why she took the name Rosemary. But I digress.
Oh.
I digress. I said I digress. So I'm gonna. I know. This one's just gonna piss me off that I'm gonna throw it out at number 7, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna be mad at myself for it. But I'll go with Goldberg's theme song, not the WWE fuck around one. That one. Oh, it's terrible. Even though it's only like 2 notes different than the WWE.
Oh, Invasion.
I think so. Yeah.
That's the name of the theme.
Ooh! But his Megadeth one's also really fucking good.
Yeah, his Megadeth theme is really good too. No, the
Crush him so good.
Goldberg's Invasion theme is really good. It's such a good theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
speaking of WCW stars,
yes,
but not in WCW.
Okay.
Scott Hall's first TNA theme, "Marvelous Me," is my number 7.
Wow.
Hey, because his arms are as big as mountains.
Are we sure that was his first one? I know that was the one that he had when he came back. I think you're right. I think that was his first.
I'm pretty sure that was his first one.
I think he came out in 04.
I don't know, but "Marvelous Me" by Dale Oliver. It's such a good theme. Let's see here.
It's not bad. Dale Oliver's not bad. It's a good pick. That's a good pick, sir. Good pick.
My arms are as big as mountains.
I remember when they
eyes are as cold as ice.
Around Scott Hall and Sean Waltman, and that turned out to be a bunk idea.
Yep.
Good job on that one, guys. My number 6 is going to be the Wind. Be the Wind. The Suzuki theme from New Japan.
Kaze ni nare. It's such a good theme.
It's made even better by the crowd singing. Anytime the crowd sings along to any song, that song becomes amplified in its legendary status. I still attest that most of Neil Diamond's songs suck, but when you put them in front of a crowd and they start singing along, the songs become pretty fucking enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like I Sweet Caroline, terrible song. Put it on in a bar and just listen to it, terrible. Put it on in a karaoke bar and sing along with it, best song ever.
Yeah.
Just like Suzuki Gun's theme. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Thank you, New Japan.
My number 6 is the theme song of the late, great Dusty Rhodes, the Common Man Boogie.
He's just a common man.
Working hard with his hands. It's just... Say what you want about what they did to Dusty in WWE. They put him in polka dots. They made him dance. Like, it doesn't matter what they did. There was nothing they could ever do that would make the fans care less about him.
And the sad thing is, it didn't touch Dusty's legacy at all, but it showed the world how petty Vince McMahon is.
Mm-hmm. It like
honorable mention goes to Cody's theme currently.
Oh, yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah. What's your number 5?
My number 5. Somehow this song keeps getting higher and higher, and I don't know how it keeps happening. I am going to go with not number 5. but the probably number 4 is the one I'm referring to. But number 5 is going to be Ken Shamrock's theme from WWE,
Oh yeah,
The Lion's Den.
Lions Den. Yeah,
It's so good. I wanted to fuck people up when I heard that song. Like,
That's
yeah, we're gonna fucking
yeah.
fight, aren't we,
it's a
people?
great theme.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, you're just over there fucking revealing my list because number 5, Kingdom, Cody Rhodes. Here, here's why. The line that preludes the chorus is
one.
no. That preludes the chorus.
Oh.
The line goes, and my father said, when I was younger, hard times breed a better man.
Mm-hmm.
That line gets me every time. I don't know why, but every time I hear it, I like almost tear up because it's like I know what it's like to be in Cody's shoes to a point when it comes to a parent losing a parent, and just the thought of him taking Dusty's words to heart and carrying those words with him wherever he goes. Like that song was obviously written for him, but it makes his character just that much deeper.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It's one of the rare cases where a theme song tells a story in itself.
Well, it's one of the rare cases where a theme song tells a story since the 80s.
Yeah.
Because the 80s were all about, like we just talked about, Big Boss Man, Scott County, Jordan. That was an entire, that was a folk song if there was ever one.
Yeah.
All right, so this song somehow managed to get into the top 4, and I don't know how it did it. There's a part of that wants to keep putting it up there. It's not going to be number 1. I know what number 1 is. I'm looking at number 1, and it's looking back at me, and it's angry. And I like that. But number 4 has to be Billy Kidman's song from WWE.
Oh my God, if you want to, but you can't hide. Nah. Hey.
It's so bad, but I love it
I
so much.
love Billy Kidman. Oh my God, that theme sucks, but I love it.
Right? Right? Like, it has no business being with the top 3.
It didn't fit his gimmick at all either.
He didn't even have a gimmick. He came down in white trunks.
No, he was coming down with the robes and stuff, remember?
Well, yeah, but it was like it wasn't even a robe. It was that jacket and white trunks. Like,
Yeah.
he was the most generic looking bitch ever.
God.
And he gained like 80 pounds of muscle too for no reason.
Yeah.
Why? He wouldn't be a cruiserweight. Like, he was like 230 easily.
Yeah.
And then I wonder why he wasn't a great worker. God, I fucking wonder.
My
Right,
number 4, Root of All Evil, Aleister Black.
That's a fairly. I mean, I do have one new one, so.
Yeah, I wanted to get at least one new one in there, and I felt like, one new WWE theme at least, and Root of All Evil is so good, just because no man is ever truly good. No man is ever truly evil. Oh, it's so good. And it works in the context of Aleister Black's character.
Mm-hmm.
It's and when he rises up out of the coffin, basically.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
They need to give him a full-on coffin too.
Oh, I'd love it.
Couple honorable mentions because now I'm thinking about them. EC3s from Impact.
Trouble.
Definitely trouble. Like, it's so good.
Oh.
Also, shit, what was the other one I was thinking? Stroke. Yeah. It was EC3s and somebody else's. Oh, the Wolves.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was a great fucking song. Love it. All right, so my number 3 is actually my most recent, and it's actually still a current one, and I think you're gonna love this one. Zato Mato. Dark's theme from Lucha Underground.
His fucking Kravinsky night call theme.
Yes. if y'all don't know what he means, somebody put the theme from Driver and Pentagon's theme into a mashup, and it works so well.
It's so good.
It's the perfect duality, but on its own, it's still really fucking good too. So definitely Pentagon Dark. He's one of my favorites in the game right now too, and the fact he's working with Impact is just making me all.
Really good theme.
Really good theme.
My number 3, Invasion, Goldberg.
That's the first time we had one that parallels each other.
Mm-hmm.
I would put money down that our number one's going to be the same.
No, I can already tell you for a fact it's not.
Knowing you as well as I do, I think our number ones are going to be closer than you think.
All right.
Just because.
All right. We'll find out.
Just because. Yeah, but wait. Did you pick? Did I wait? Who
I just did my number 3, which was Goldberg's theme.
Okay. Well, I love it. It's such a great kind of trumpet, and it really it's a great hearkening to a very painful moment that you will now be experiencing in your life.
Well, it's the beginning of the song starts with those taiko drums, the fucking Japanese war drums, and doom, 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 and then it's at that moment where you go, "Oh, I'm about to get my head knocked into my ass."
Yeah, that's one of those where you realize, when I asked myself, should I get it up today? The answer was no.
And then he comes out and he stands in the pyro and he's blowing smoke out of his nose like a bull and he's punching and kicking the air like a crazy man. It all works perfectly.
He's snarling at you and you're like, well, this is going to be a bad day. So,
number 2.
I kind of want you to go first for the number one, just so I can do the aha got you.
Oh, do you?
For number 2, it's
oh yeah,
so good, Lager, so good. And
Jushin Liger.
It's not even his theme. It's the fucking anime theme.
It's the anime theme.
It so much.
It's so good.
I have no desire to watch that terrible anime, but I love that theme forever because of Liger. Watching him debut at Bound for Glory 05 to fight Joe, and he comes out of that theme. I'm like,
so
you're
good.
You're gonna die violently.
So good.
What's your number 2?
My number 2. Well, I mean, it's the theme of someone who's in the top 1%. Trouble, 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 trouble. EC3's Trouble is such a good theme. And I think that was like a landmark era. Like, I will go so far to say that EC3 carried that company on his back for a while.
I don't even think like him and Lashley were the only. Well, him, Lashley, and the Wolves were the only real acts that had any substance. But the Wolves were dealing with injuries at that too. So
yeah,
kind of a very unique perspective. But yeah, I would not disagree with that.
Great theme, great wrestler. Well, decent wrestler, great character.
Good enough wrestler.
Yeah.
He could have a match of the year with the right guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, we've only had one crossover.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to bet, not anything serious here, but I'm willing to bet that our number ones are either adjacent or the same.
Uh-huh.
Do me the honor by telling me your number one is mine.
Well, Chad, unfortunately, I have to break your heart because you already know what my number 1 is. My number 1 is the greatest wrestling theme song of all time, and is your number 10 and your defensive football music, the Wolfpack theme for the fucking NWO Wolfpack. Ding, 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 ding. Wolfpack is back.
I'm going to say my number one, and you're going to be like, no, you're right. It should have been my number one.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Drums in the Night, motherfucking...
Oh, shit! You're right! Damn it! How could I forget Drums in the Night?
See, I told you I knew you pretty well.
Damn it! Fuck! How did I forget Drums in the Night? It's probably because Steve Blackman didn't have that great of a career.
Well, I mean, he was pretty good in 2000.
Well,
Didn't
shit.
he
Now.
beat the shit out of Shane McMahon for like 3 months straight?
Yeah, he did. Oh.
Here's the saddest part. His first theme had the better name, Ground Shaker.
All right, let's see here. Getting rid of my number 4. Aleister Black can go. I'm fine getting rid of that one. We're going to
Move
replace.
everyone down
Yep,
one.
Invasion. Goldberg. EC3 goes to 3.
Wolfpack goes to 2.
Yep.
And number 1, because I know you so well. Steve Blackman.
Drums in the night. Steve Blackman.
Because you hear it and you're like, fuck, fuck, fuck.
Yep.
No, I'm done. I'm done. No, I want to leave. I want to leave the ring. No, I don't want to. Why does he have a stick with a knife on the end of it? I don't want to be here anymore.
God, man, what a great theme. And it's just like that so good.
It's really fucking good. Like, it's like really fucking good. I can't even emphasize this because it's so simple, and it's like and the Titantron video almost matched the theme so perfectly because it's just Blackman with these glow in the dark sticks just whipping them around, and you're like, huh. All right, then.
Yeah.
We're all going to die. Glad to know.
No, you're totally right. It would have been my number 1 had I remembered it.
See, I don't know much, but I do know that.
You know that I fucking love Steve Blackman.
Who doesn't love Steve Blackman? Like, I was so disappointed as a child that I never got to see Steve Blackman take on a Glacier. I always wanted that fight.
Man, I just wanted. All of the people that I loved never got a chance to be in the main event, and I always wanted them to be in the main event, like Steve Blackman.
Right? Like, how great would that have been?
I like the idea of, like, Triple H challenging anyone to a match, and he's like, open challenge for the belt, any match you choose, doesn't matter. And Steve Blackman comes out and he just says a hardcore match, and then he just beats the shit out of Triple H. He doesn't even have to win. He just whoops the shit out of Triple H, and then Triple H cheats to beat him. But
I could see it.
Like, not even cheating, because he could just have anybody run down and fucking beat him.
Punk ass twat that he is.
Yeah.
Like the punk ass twat that he is. So, did you do the Gamestruck 4?
No, I didn't.
I did. Well, that's pretty awesome.
I have an idea for what mine would be, I think. I know one of the games on there would definitely be Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage.
That's an interesting choice. I didn't strike you for a Spyro guy.
I fucking love the Spyro series, and I cannot wait until they come out. They get remastered in September, because I will be spending all of my time playing them.
My 4, just in case anyone's wondering, was Grand Theft Auto 5, the most recent one. That game is just... I've probably sunk as many hours into any console game as I ever have in Grand Theft Auto 5. Mm-hmm. There's so much to do. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. On GameCorp, we rank games. We rate them out of... we have 5 core categories. We rank them out of 5. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is the only game so far to get a perfect score of 25. It's that good. It's the best fucking game ever. Mm-hmm. Greatest Zelda game, too. Fight me. Now, this one's a personal favorite. I understand why people don't like it, but Metal Gear Solid 2, I think, is just the epitome of what gaming should be. It was an experience. It told a great story, unique characters, dynamic settings, and it kept you on your toes. You never knew which way it was coming at you. I dug that. And while some people may not like the fact that you played as Raiden, which, by the way, great name.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you got to see Snake from a different perspective. That was cool. And finally, the best wrestling game ever. Don't at me. Don't argue. This is just pure and simple, the greatest game ever. WCW NWO Revenge.
Not World Tour.
World Tour is actually surprisingly very good, but it's not as the gameplay. There are simple things in that game that don't exist that would be put into Revenge that make Revenge just better.
There's only one game that I think challenges Revenge.
No Mercy.
Fuck you.
I've always heard that argument. No Mercy is better. No, it's not. It's not fucking better. No Mercy does offer some jokes aside, it does offer some more things that Revenge didn't do, like create a character slots.
And fucking No Mercy has like every move on the planet in that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
Yeah,
I love No Mercy.
And it had full intros with songs, which is something I wish Revenge had, but whatever.
Yeah.
But Revenge had the fucking deepest roster ever. It's literally the best.
Which was the WCW game where you could play as like the giant bee and Santa Claus?
Oh god.
They were secret characters. You could play as a mummy.
Probably Mayhem.
I don't remember.
I think that's Mayhem. Or Backstage Assault, but both games were terrible. Although Mayhem was slightly less terrible. But Mayhem also locked like half the roster away. And like sometimes it's like we're gonna lock, it's 2000 and we're gonna lock Shawn Michaels behind, winning stuff. So you have to win a bunch of shit to get to Shawn Michaels. Oh, okay. I don't know who Shawn Michaels is.
Yeah.
No, they would be like, you want to play as Goldberg? You gotta beat certain people. You want to play Bret Hart? I'm like, why? Why do I have to play with Buddy Parker? Are you kidding me? The fuck. I have to play as Buddy Parker and beat Booker T and Stevie Ray and Rick Steiner in 3 consecutive matches under 3 minutes to unlock Jimmy Hart. Like, this is some nonsense. And oh yeah, the game controls sucked.
Yeah.
Then, Backstage Assault was even worse. So you want to hear something hilarious?
Sure, hit me.
Just to give you an idea of who I was as a gamer back in the day. I didn't read anything. I didn't research anything. I didn't do anything for anything. So when I picked up Backstage Assault at Blockbuster, I came home and it started me in the backstage area. So I was like, oh, okay. How do I get to the ring?
You don't.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was 13 years old and I didn't realize. In my head, I'm like, this is a pro wrestling game. How does it not have a ring? I could not fathom that this game would not have a ring.
Yeah, well, it definitely wasn't. The game I'm thinking of definitely wasn't Backstage Assault then, because it's definitely in the ring. God, what was it?
That would be Mayhem then. Was it like clunky looking characters where they look like T-Rexes?
I just looked up Mayhem and it didn't have any of the. It didn't list. It at least didn't list the secret characters if they were on there.
And you're saying Santa Claus was one of them?
Santa Claus. There was a giant bee. I believe you could play as.
You're talking about Nitro.
Am I?
Yeah, it's God. These are terrible games. Nitro and Thunder. Yeah, I think Thunder had some stupid ones too. It was bad.
It was WCW Nitro. Yep, because the cover was Hogan, the Giant, and Sting.
Yeah, and it was Sting in his early '97 gear with the short hair, and it's not great.
I know it wasn't great, but it was one of the first wrestling games I ever played.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Then again, one of the first wrestling games I ever played was Vegas. That's me just spamming the kick button. So Impact is this week.
Uh-huh.
You excited?
Yeah,
do
actually.
you want to do your other 3 games?
I don't. So these can be any games, right?
Yeah, any video games.
Okay.
Just like your 4 matches.
So
Spyro 2 is
Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. because I think that was one of the first games where I ever like went through the process of 100%ing it. Because
Mm.
there were no achievements or anything like that.
It was just a desire.
You had to get all the collectibles. You had no internet. You couldn't figure anything out. Um,
I think I beat the first part.
I've beaten all the Spyro games. So Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life for the Nintendo GameCube.
I could see that.
Like I remember the first time I played the game and I was like, it's just a farming game. But then I'm like, oh, but it tells a story and you actually get invested in the characters in the game. It's like a
But,
movie, but you get to interact with it.
but you're also like me. You like repetitive gameplay.
Yes, I like something that is just like I do this and I do this and I do this and I
It,
do
it
this.
it allows you to deconnect from the havoc that is your brain
Yeah,
in the same way. So something that's monotonous and it's something that you do time and time again is actually very soothing and relaxing. The
yeah.
same way.
Let's see what else. Oh, Fallout New Vegas.
Ah, yes. You and I have talked about the merits of Fallout New Vegas versus Fallout 3.
Fallout New Vegas, man, it's I remember it was the first ever Fallout game I played. And then after I finished that I went back and played Fallout 3 and I fucking love New Vegas. The characters, the goofiness of it, it's just such a good game. One of my
The
favorites of
thing,
all time.
the thing that and I've never finished New Vegas, so but I can easily say this without having to. The thing that I think New Vegas will always have on Fallout 3 is that the ending didn't suck.
Yeah.
Fallout 3's ending was so terrible because it literally gave you an option that you could hang out with a giant mutant who was immune to radioactivity.
Mhm.
And even if he was or she was in your party, you still had to go in and die, which was all kinds of fucking stupid.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Um and
And
then number 4, who man, this is hmm trying to think about video games that have really had an impact on me that I love. You know what? I got one. My
what's
number
up?
4 would be the first ever game that got me into skateboarding and skateboard culture, which would be Tony Hawk's Underground 2.
Hmm, not a bad pick.
Yeah, the only other game that I could compare with it that I liked more for the story would have been Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, but I would say Thug 2 probably was more significant on me because it introduced me to skateboarding and skateboard culture, and those are some really good games.
So I was the guy who played aggressive inline. That was me. Because I was as the kids would say back in the day, a fruit booter. Actually a downhill racer, but I mean that's not here. Did I tell you who my ring struck for is?
Yeah, oh, your ring struck 4? No, you didn't tell me, but I definitely saw them.
Did you talk about your ring struck for on the cast yet?
Ye- I talked about just the Benoit one. That was it.
Well, let's recap this as well, so that way we cover all our bases.
Okay.
So, by the way, Cody Rhodes, he's my new best friend. He doesn't know it yet, but he is. He did War Games '87, which is probably his father's biggest
Oh
contribution to
yeah.
wrestling. Macho versus Savage at WrestleMania 7.
Who versus who?
Macho versus Warrior. I do that all the time. God damn it, Macho versus.
Yeah. Yep.
What was that? WrestleMania 7. Savage
Uh,
Warrior.
6, right?
Was it 6? No, 6 was
No,
Hogan
6
Savage.
was Hogan Warrior. My bad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
no,
meant.
it was 7 then.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Uh,
6 was Savage DiBiase for the belt, right?
no, 6 was.
No
All
shit.
right. No, six was Hogan Warrior. 7 was Hogan Sid.
When did
No,
he
8
face Savage for the belt? Or
Warrior.
DiBiase and Savage.
Oh, 4.
Oh, that was 4. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, that was the tournament finals.
Yeah.
He also has the Iron Man match between Michaels and Brett.
Yep.
And I think it's Sting versus Hogan, but he posted the DVD set for Starrcade 97.
Yeah, Sting versus Hogan, Starrcade 97.
So Cody has some interesting picks. I don't know if I retweeted yours.
You did retweet mine.
Did I?
Yeah. Ooh, there's one I didn't think about that could have also made my list.
Which one?
Goldberg versus Hogan for the belt.
That's a good one.
When he wins the belt for the first time.
I would definitely not put it above DDP Hogan. I mean DDP Gold.
Yeah, but it's just I remember Bobby Heenan screaming when he wins the belt. You know,
Yeah.
The first undefeated man in the history of our sport. This is such a magnificent night. Thank you, Goldberg, for saving us. You know.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, do yours first. You mentioned Benoit and Guerrero.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I mentioned Benoit, HHH, and HBK.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so number 1 is WrestleMania 20, Benoit, Triple H, HBK. Number 2, we'll just do in the order that I posted them. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels, triple threated, Unbreakable 2005. That one is for a very simple reason, is the match itself. It really showed me athleticism in professional wrestling. And, like, I think it was, like, one of the first TNA matches I ever saw, too. Where it was like, oh, shit, this is what TNA is. And it showed me something outside of WWE. It introduced me to a new product. You know? Number 2, or the one after that, would be Dusty versus Flair at Starrcade 85. And that one is literally all character work. They didn't have a fantastic match. You know? But literally the promo leading up to Starrcade 85 was the Hard Times promo. And it made that match because he'd just come back from injury. He cuts the Hard Times promo. You look at the career rivalry that Flair and Dusty had and how they were complete opposites. It just goes to show you don't have to be the best worker in the world, but if you're the best character, you are the main event and you are a draw. Yeah. And then my last one is Savage Steamboat WrestleMania 3, again, just because this is where I think people really learn that you can be the most technically sound wrestlers on the planet and some of the greatest in-ring workers such as Steamboat and Savage, but you don't have to do all your storytelling through promos or, you know, pre-tapes or whatever. You can tell a story in the ring, and Savage and Steamboat told a story and had a technically sound match.
So I kind of just want to point out the hilarity in this. Vince constantly copies other people.
Yeah.
Because he got the idea. Do you guys want to know the real reason why Vince ran 3 different venues for WrestleMania?
Why?
Because Dusty ran 2 and for Starrcade.
Oh yeah, because fuck, what was it? Starrcade 85 took place in
Greensboro Coliseum.
And the Omni in Atlanta. Yeah.
So Vince wanted to prove that he could do it better, so he did the third one, and he did it worse. Because the NWA's card wasn't completely fucking gutted and stripped across 3 different cities with no real validity between them. The Rock and Roll Express defeated Ivan and Nikita Koloff for the titles. That's a pretty big match, especially in the cage. Plus Magnum TA versus Sully Blanchard. Pretty big match. That was the I Quit match.
Oh.
2 straight steel cage matches, about. Then you go to the Omni and you get fucking. And I know this doesn't make a lot of sense for a lot of people, but Jimmy Valiant and Miss Atlanta Lively against the Midnight Express. Big draws back in the day. And then of course Dusty and Flair. Oh, plus the Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Just them as a whole. And then of course you had Superstar Billy Graham. So like that had a lot of draws.
So I don't mean to change the subject, but did you see what Lufisto tweeted earlier today?
Yes, I did. Lufisto is doing good now, so
Yep.
I'm glad.
Says that they're irregular cells, but there's no cancer anywhere else, and the doctor is positive that everything was removed successfully. So that is really great news.
Hmm.
So,
Good stuff. So my ring struck for gonna go with Final Resolution's main event: Sting and Cage versus Jarrett and Monty.
hmm
I'd been watching TNA for the last 4 years prior, but this was the match that sold me on it, like reasserting my fandom because I was a lapsed wrestling fan. I'd watch here and there. TNA I'd watch more often than not, but this was like, yeah, sink my teeth into it.
yeah,
So, got to give it that. My next match was, of course, Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper with the IC belt, WrestleMania 7. Love this match. I think it's Piper's quintessential work because he sold this entire match on the idea of them being cousins and friends. And I love how he's like, man, I know your dad. He's one hell of a guy.
yeah,
Just like just how he's being so kind and sweet for no reason. Like, it's so anti-Piper. It's beautiful. And then, of course, that fucking roll up out of the sleep roll is amazing.
hmm
Styles, Kurt Angle at it's actually I want to say it's Hard Justice, but I think I used the Slammiversary photo. It's the first time I ever saw two living legends in their prime going off against one another. And these are like undisputable best of their times.
yeah,
This is Bruno Hogan,
yes,
and TNA got to have it, and no one talks about it because it's TNA. But this match is iconic, and it should be remembered.
yeah,
And then finally, Sting versus Flair, Great American Bash 90. Fandom started it all.
yeah.
Gots.
My one honorable mention would be Hogan versus Rock.
That's a good one. My honorable mentions Goldberg, DDP.
Yeah, because just it was hard pressed for me to not put it on there, but I don't know if I bank a lot of what I know or and love about wrestling off of Hogan versus Rock, but it's hard not to look at that match and go, if the crowd, I think we've mentioned, you mentioned this specifically before, if the crowd's going crazy for 15 minutes and all you've done is look at each other, then you don't have to put on a fucking barn burner.
No,
You know, like
no, you don't.
that crowd was so hot for that match.
That's why to this day I still believe in my heart of hearts that they should have gone with Hogan Sting in the main event of Bound for Glory 2011 because that crowd was so amped up for that match that anything that preceded it was going to be met with nothing.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what happened. They burned themselves off getting all hyped for that match. Rude and Angle just didn't, it didn't have the same kind of emotion to it. You should have done the title first and then have the main event be Hogan Sting, and that would have made the show a lot more enjoyable.
yeah,
Because let's be honest, if there's one thing that tops the title, it's the company. And that's what the match was for.
yeah. That's true.
So Impact Wrestling, they got pay per view this Sunday.
Yeah,
You
they
gonna
do.
watch it?
Yes, I am gonna watch it.
So main event gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Aries,
I'm excited.
Pentagon, Phoenix.
Yeah, it's
So here's the card. I want to hear your thoughts. Opening up with Aerostar versus Drago.
yeah, seen it 1,000 times, but I'm sure they'll do something crazy we haven't seen them do yet.
Probably, hopefully. Then we got a six-way dance. Ishimori, Xavier, El Hijo del Fantasma, Brian Cage, DJZ, and Trevor Lee. One of these things does not belong here.
So it's going to be Brian Cage throwing around Trevor Lee, DJZ, Xavier, and Ishimori, and then the 6'9" El Hijo del Fantasma staring over Cage's head because Cage is not a tall guy. Phantasma is tall, dude.
I think they're about the same height. They're both about 5'11".
There's no way Cage is like. There's. I don't know, man. Because
Cage is about 5'11", because Jay Bradley's about 6'6",
yeah,
and he was only about 6 or 7 inches taller than him when they faced off in Impact back in
I
2011.
guess I guess my view of Phantasma is skewed just because everybody in Lucha is so small.
Yes, and that's kind of why Matanza Cueto looks so huge, because everyone else is like 5'6", and he's 5'12", or 5'11", or 12, 6 foot.
That's like the thing of that match that I'm really looking forward to. I know Ishimori and Xavier and DJZ and Trevor Lee are gonna do well. DJZ, Trevor Lee's gonna be there. Uh, I love Trevor Lee, but he's not doing anything crazy. He's the heel.
Hmm.
Um, DJZ, Xavier, and Ishimori will do all your fucking spots, and I want to just see Brian Cage and Phantasma just beat the shit out of each other.
So, did you hear Scott Steiner said really nice things about Brian Cage's physique?
Oh yeah,
I've long believed that Brian Cage should essentially just be this generation Scott Steiner. But how do you teach crazy?
you don't.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's the conversation, man. We need to find a way to teach crazy. Because Brian Cage should be this generation Scott Steiner. He's got the physique, he's got the work ethic, he's got the in-ring talent. He just needs that crazy ass personality. Or better yet, just pair him with Scott Steiner and Eli Drake. There
yeah.
you go. Boom. Boom. And let Scott Steiner say all the crazy
I'm
shit.
still fucking in tears at Eli Drake and Scott Steiner walking out of the building cutting a promo, and Scott Steiner stops to push Dick Justice into a fucking trash can.
I hate fat asses.
I hate fat asses. Oh my god.
So
Scott Steiner is fucking
did you
crazy.
you see the things he said on Wednesday?
About Conan?
So Scott Steiner is like, hey, Hulk Hogan, he's a racist, but also Conan's gonna cut my lawn.
Why does Trump want to deport all the Mexicans? Who's gonna cut the grass?
Right? Like, oh, Scott Steiner. He's so offensive. I love it. But here's the thing, like I know in my heart of hearts Scott Steiner's not a racist, but he's saying this shit to get people riled up.
Well, it's weird because so up until this point LAX was heels, right?
Well, they've been faces since OVE brought in Sammy Cat.
Okay, well that makes sense. So
6 months.
so it
But
like
they're still talking about running drugs and shit.
yeah, I know, which is so they're
Doesn't make any
tweeners.
It doesn't even make any.
Yeah, but this is Scott Steiner going, am I the face or am I the heel? And if Impact was like, you're the heel, he's like, all right, I'm going to make myself the fucking heel then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Steiner knows how to make himself the fucking heel. Like that one time, he literally ran over a person because he wouldn't be. They didn't let him on the freeway. So Scott Steiner said, "Fuck you," and then he ran him over.
He's a fucking crazy person.
He really is. He's got some issues.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 kids.
Yeah.
I wanna know what his kids look.
You know,
I imagine they're both girls and they're both like really beautiful in the face, but then like their bodies are just jacked up giant behemoth bodies like Scott's, and they all have terrible tattoos. Is that wrong?
I hope not. I mean, yes, the visual is hilarious. The thought of it is actually frightening.
Right. So this is always the best part of Scott Steiner. Though Scott Steiner, when he was in his 40s, just love saying that because it was so long. He was in a tag match and motherfucking douchebag Apollo kicked him in the throat and it nearly killed him. And when he came back from Puerto Rico, he cuts this promo on Impact Television and he's like the most gracious human being ever because he's like, if it wasn't for those amazing doctors in Puerto Rico, I would not be here today. And like you hear that and you think to yourself, this man's insane.
Yeah.
He genuinely does not care about race.
Yeah.
He thinks everyone's a fat ass.
This is true.
Fun fact, Scott Steiner was sent back from Puerto Rico on a cruise ship. So that means for like 3 days, Scott Steiner was in bed on a cruise ship yelling at waiters.
Oh, I love the idea of that.
Right? Like, I want to see a movie about that. Like, not the movie about how it happened, how they saved his life, or his comeback, I want a 2.5 hour movie of him laying in bed yelling at people to get him stuff.
I'll take a
Oh,
2.5 hour program of Scott Steiner doing anything.
by the by, did you know that Scott Steiner appeared on a Disney Channel show?
What?
Yup. Do you remember the Michael Gallinota driven vehicle called the Jersey?
No.
Boy. So I'm not sure how this one works, but okay. So the general idea of this show is that he gets this raggedy ass jersey and he puts it on and he transforms into the body of famous athlete. Makes sense. But in one of the episodes, he jumps into the body of Scott.
Oh.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. I'm trying to remember what episode it was. I feel like it was Truth and Consequence. For sure.
What year was this?
2000. It was when Scott Steiner was getting a lot of play on TV shows. Because Scott Steiner was also on an episode of Charmed, I want to say.
Yeah, he was Wrestling with Demons.
Yeah, it was him and Booker T, I think.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. Big fan. So
So?
I will find it. Yes. So.
Oh, you cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said I'm looking for it.
Oh, okay. So, what's after the 6-way Knockouts Championship?
Yes.
Allie versus Su Yung.
Yes.
So I know nothing about this feud.
So it's actually based around Braxton Sutter.
Oh.
He proposed to Allie, which is ironic because they're actually married.
They're actually married, yeah.
And she's like, I want you, I want you to get married and stuff. And she's like, no. And he's like, well, I'm gonna do stuff. No. So he brings in Su Yung to mess with Allie, and Allie's basically like, I used to be really afraid of monsters, but I'm not anymore. So I'm gonna kick your ass. And that started, this feud. It's not that in depth in terms of these two, but the Braxton Sutter aspect has been going on for a few months. So I'm very curious to see how it goes from here. They already had one match on last week. My only complaint about this whole thing, though, is that they did a match on Thursdays, on yesterday's edition, where it was Falaba and Kira Hogan, who I'm just, she's so, and it was Braxton and Su Yung, and Su Yung was ready to fall. And I was like, no, shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because, she's supposed to be this crazy monster chick, and then she's like completely afraid of like the biggest teddy bear on the roster.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's just this. So yeah, it'll be a good match though. Su Young's out.
So what are they doing with Allie and Braxton? Nothing?
As a couple, no. They're not doing much of anything. Couple. But Braxton's been harassing her for a few months about the whole not wanting to be together shit. I think they should put Braxton and KM into a heel tag team and let them just be bullies.
Yeah.
Because those two work fucking well. So I like it. I want it. I want some more of it.
Fair enough.
So where are we? 6-man tag. OVE versus Tommy Dreamer, Moose, and Eddie Edwards. Thank God it's not fucking House of Hardcore, because Dreamer would be the main event. You can't do that.
Well, I mean, it is a House of Hardcore match.
Yeah, but he's not going to be the main event, thank God. I got Callahan, pinning Dreamer, because those two actually go back to the early shows score back in 12, I think it was.
Okay.
This is gonna be a fun match. Hardcore, I bet.
Oh, there's
Crazy.
definitely going to be a spot where Edwards hits Callahan with a bat.
Yes, and that's gonna be amazing.
They're going to tease the spot again. Eddie Edwards is going to get out of it. He's going to get control of the bat, and he's just going to unload on Sammy Callahan.
As one should.
Yeah.
As one should. Now, I get kind of miffed by the thought that WWE let go of Sammy Callahan. Like, I'm glad they did. I'm super glad they did. But watching him, listening to him, he's so good on the mic. He's got such a presence and a sense an aura about him, and it's been a lot of fun to watch him work since he debuted at Mount.
Yeah.
So definitely enjoying it. Then we got tag team match: Eli Drake and Scott Steiner, the world's greatest tag team, taking on LAX. I think we're all pulling for Scott Steiner to lock tease in Steiner Steiner.
So, which one is Shelton?
I would have to imagine it's Eli. Eli's
Okay.
actually very athletic. He can do the ring to top rope leap.
That's where I was going with it because I know he can do the ring to top. Yeah. So Eli Shelton, Scott Steiner's Charlie Haas.
Mm-hmm. And then that means Scott's, so Scott's gonna have to do the job or actually do all the goofy impersonations just to keep a paycheck coming.
There, one of two things is going to happen in this match. If Eli and Scott are going over, then Eli's taking all the heat. But they're the heels, so probably Santana's going to take all the... No, who usually gets the big hot tag between those two?
They differed up quite a bit, but I would imagine in this case it would probably be Santana because he's the bigger guy. And,
I thought Ortiz was the big one.
Well, okay, that's the misnomer. Ortiz is the quote-unquote muscle, but he's like 5'9", 5'7".
Ortiz is the one with the afro.
Yes. And Santana's the tall, lanky one.
Yeah, well, because I figured they'd do the size mismatch with Santana because he doesn't have the size, like, physically.
Mm-hmm.
And Eli Drake is like a fucking monster.
I mean, yeah.
Well, that dude is big. Like, not maybe like John Cena or Brian Cage big, but Eli Drake's got some mass on him.
He definitely does have mass on him, and it's not even just the mass; it's the definition.
Yeah,
really pops.
He's
he's cut to shit, man.
Yeah. So if they're going over, then well, either way, it doesn't matter what happens. Eli Drake is taking most of the bumps.
Do you think that Eli Drake will end up getting 2 titles on Sunday?
Does he? Oh, he has 2 briefcases, doesn't he?
See that
What's the other one for?
world title.
Oh shit!
Would make sense. You now, granted, this can be a hell of an event, yes, but you have to change up the entire main event. It would make sense that you would end it on a bit of a shocker.
If they're planning to do something and build, if they're going to put the belts on Scott Steiner and Eli and also give him the world title, they have to build a stable around him. Because
I'm down with that.
Because I can't see Scott defending the belts and doing like a huge... Is he going to be with the company going forward, or is this just a one-off thing?
No, there's a belief that this is going to be a regular thing. He's locked in for a few dates because Impact has a different taping schedule now, and the way they do house shows is through other promotions. Scott Steiner has, I think, through the end of next week, which is the end of the tapings. But I could, here's the thing: Scott Steiner, put over Brian Cage, but also. Brian Cage and Eli Drake used to be tag team partners back in Championship Wrestling of Hollywood with Percy Pringle, Paul Burr as the manager. So I could see very easily Brian Cage taking Eli Drake's spot in that tag team and tagging with Scott Steiner for the interim.
See, that's what I was. So here's my idea.
Mm-hmm.
Put the world title on Eli. Have them win the tag belts and put Brian Cage and Scott Steiner with him,
Mm-hmm.
and then have Petey win the X Division Championship. Come back to the stable with Scott, be little Petey Pump again, and then they have pretty much all the gold.
You can call them Muscles and Madness.
And then you have to find someone to take the global or what the grand championship, and
Mm-hmm.
just put that on Brian Cage.
So just put everything on Brian Cage that's not already adorned across the glorious waist of Eli Drake.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else who fits in this stable, so I like these four. You have the wise quote unquote vet in Scott Steiner. You got Eli Drake, who's the mouthpiece. You have Petey, who's the X Division representative and is also in tight with Scott Steiner already.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Brian Cage, who is not just the muscle, but is a walking muscle.
So if we're talking about guys who could take the grand championship off
Aries.
Austin Aries, I was thinking. You could do Braxton Sutter, although he doesn't have the same definition, but he is cut.
Yeah.
He definitely does have some cutness to him.
I like that because I like the idea of putting more people in a stable. I like having like 5 to 6 people as a stable.
Yeah. It really puts over the dynamicness of said stable.
Yeah. Plus, that Braxton Sutter is a good idea because you want someone who can tag and switch out Freebird style with Cage for the tag team championship, so Scott Steiner doesn't have to do a crazy workload.
Yeah, doing one match.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Braxton makes sense. KM kind of makes sense, although he doesn't have the same body type. I mean, Johnny Impact makes the most sense because that dude is cut to shit.
Ooh,
but he's a face.
Yeah.
And putting him in a heel group, because Brian Cage, while everyone knows him and is starting to come around on him, he's still fairly new.
Yeah, no,
at least as a top guy, I should say.
You need someone to be the antithesis for Eli Drake, and Johnny Impact is really good for that.
Yes. And Brian Cage is the nice number 2 to Eli Drake's number 1, because Eli's been the top guy in this company. Brian Cage hasn't been the top guy anywhere he's been. Braxton Sutter's a young pup. Well, not young. They're all about 34, 35. And Scott Steiner's the grizzled vet, so that works perfectly.
Actually, Braxton Sutter, Allie, and Andy Williams from the band Every Time I Die, who wrestles for Smash Wrestling a lot, they were just on the Steve Austin show, and Braxton Sutter is actually 37.
Yeah.
Yeah. No spring chicken.
Nope, not at all. But he throws down.
I like the idea of building this like bodybuilder-esque stable, but they're all like really good wrestlers, and they're not just like vanity like muscle people. I like the team of Brian Cage and Braxton Sutter.
That's not a bad team.
I really do like the idea of that team, and I think it gives Braxton Sutter somewhere to go too. Because if they're not going to push him as a singles guy, try getting him over in a tag team.
I mean, it makes sense. And it kind of, the thing that I really like about this idea is it really harkens to what Scott Steiner is as a legacy guy.
Yeah.
We joke a lot about Scott Steiner's over-the-top promos. We joke a lot about Scott Steiner's crazy-ass inability to wrestle. And I say this with all sincerity, and I've said this to you, Swish, I don't know anyone at any point in time that was as versatile and as good in the ring as Scott Steiner between 1989 and 1996. Before he blew out his back, Scott Steiner was, and I mean this when I say this, the best worker I have ever seen.
Yeah.
There wasn't, he could do everything. Then his back started to go a little bit, and then his knees started to buckle a little bit. Then he got that club foot in WWE. and they rushed him back. But before the injuries piled up, like he moved better than every. He was so good.
Uh-huh.
So these guys really kind of encapsulate what he was like as a wrestler back in the day. Cage has the size and the athleticism that Steiner had. Eli has the quickness and the undeniable Kaborka.
He's got the charisma.
Oh, yeah. Braxton Sutter is just a nice kind of like, reference to Petey. And then, of course, you got Petey, who's just little Petey Pump.
Little Petey Pump.
My favorite thing about Petey Williams, and there's a lot of great things, but it's him recanting the story of Scott Steiner and Petey Williams driving around. Oh yeah. Right.
I like the idea of this stable and like Steiner really being like the coach, like wearing his tracksuit with the headdress, and like, but like Petey starts wearing the headdress again, but he doesn't dye the beard or anything like that, and he doesn't change his gear or anything, but he wears it because he's like, Scott, I missed you, like we're back together, and I'm little Petey Pump, and then Braxton Sutter also wears the headdress. But then you cut to Brian Cage, who's got his mohawk, and fucking Eli Drake, who's got his good looks going, and they just look at each other like, we're not fucking wearing that thing. And they don't wear it, but the other three do.
I could,
because Braxton's over here like guys, I'm just happy to be here.
Oh god, I could just imagine like Braxton's trying to put on Cage, and Cage slowly turns around and stares at him, and Braxton just puts back on his own head, and then Scott taps both Braxton and Petey on the head and rubs their heads. Give this to me, please.
I like the idea of like Scott trying to give it to Brian, and Brian's like, I'm not fucking wearing that thing, not over this mohawk. and Scott gets real offended. He just goes, listen here, you son of a bitch.
Listen here, you fat ass.
Well, he wouldn't call him that because he's not.
Well, no, he would, because he's Scott Steiner and everyone's a fat ass. Scott Steiner probably has that personality disease where he looks at everyone as more obese than they actually are, including himself.
Oh man, he's
all kinds of insane.
Hey, how can I get Don Callis' number? Somebody get me in touch with Scott D'Amore.
I don't know, but if you do, let me know, because I have some. I want to talk to them too. I have some ideas.
Somebody get me in touch with Scott D'Amore. You got to listen to me on this one. Look, it'll be just as popular as Team Canada was. Which one's A1? Braxton Sutter. Poor guy.
You know what's fucking crazy? Braxton Sutter in his early 40s wrestles better than he did in his mid 20s. It's actually not that crazy, because we talk about all the time that the older you get, the more the more impressive you get in the ring because you understand it better.
Yeah.
But I never thought A1 would be worth watching. But they did that one night only, I think was what it was, and he was in a mixed tag, and I thought he looked phenomenal and wrestled phenomenal.
You know who? What's Johnny Devine up to these days?
Trying to figure out how he ended up being the Ringo Starr of that team.
Yeah, it's just man. I was thinking about who is the other shitty member of Team Canada? Oh yeah, Johnny Devine, not A1. Because you got Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Petey.
D'Amore. I mean, think about it.
D'Amore, A1.
Bobby Roode's a top guy on Raw.
Yeah.
Eric Young's debuting on SmackDown next week.
Yep.
Petey Williams in the second or third highest profile match of Impact's return pay-per-view event.
Yeah.
Scott D'Amore is the co-president of the promotion.
Yep.
A1, even A1, he's one of the two head trainers alongside John Bolin over there at the Border Championship Wrestling's dojo with Scott D'Amore. So that ain't bad. Teddy Hart, who was a member of Team Canada back in their 04 run, he's back with the promotion off and on. Then you got motherfucking Johnny Devine, and here's the goddamn thing about this: Johnny Devine's still wrestling.
Of course he is.
And like I don't mean like kind of wrestling, like you know, you see like Prince IKO one match every other year. Johnny Devine wrestled at least 20, 30 matches last year alone.
Huh.
Yeah. Most of them with who is it? XICW, I think.
Interesting.
Which is a Warsaw, Michigan promotion, I think, or Detroit, Michigan promotion.
My dad was talking to me the other day, and he was watching because he watches Grimm's Toy Show,
Mm-hmm.
and they had invited a wrestler on there, and they couldn't figure out he couldn't figure out who it was, and I forget what they kept referencing to say. Like he's like, I'm a former TNA champion and something. I'm like, TNA champion. And then they're like, "What's your name?" He does, Grimm does the "What's your name?" and he goes to say his name, and he goes, "It doesn't matter what." And somebody cuts him off and goes, "No, no, it actually does matter what his name is." And he goes, "So what is your name?" And you can barely kind of hear it when he's talking, and he goes, "General Earth," and you're like, "What did he just say?" And we rolled it back. He goes, "General Earth," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, did he say Jimmy Rave?" And I look at the shirt that the wrestler's wearing, and the shirt says Jimmy Rave approved, and I'm just like,
God.
holy shit, I think that's Jimmy Rave. I did not recognize him at all. He looks like a completely different person back from when I knew Jimmy Rave, which was Rock and Rave, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock and Rave infection.
The rock and rave infection.
Yeah, can we count on one hand how many names Lance Archer went through in TNA?
Okay, let's do this.
Dallas.
Yes.
Lance Hoyt.
Yes.
Lance Rock.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because then he was fired. So I'm trying to look up a photo of Jimmy Rave
Uh-huh.
from this Grimm's Toy Show. I'm not finding any. I'm seeing a lot of Rhett Titus for some reason.
Yeah, Rhett Titus is on that a lot.
Oh, what a douche! I have no issue with Rhett Titus whatsoever, but I'm going to call him a douche.
Don't care for him, honestly.
Really? Yeah, he's not. He's a hand, but that's about it. Matt
Yeah.
Sydal versus Petey Williams, by the way, X Division title.
That's gonna be good.
That's
It's gonna be really good.
real
So
quick.
Petey has Petey had the belt since he came back?
He hasn't had the belt in 10 years.
Well, that's what I was just asking you.
No, I mean 10 years. We need to rectify that.
Since I said the phrase "since he's come back,"
Yes.
I was asking.
But,
I haven't kept up with the product. I knew he returned to the promotion and to wrestling, so I was
well,
asking you.
but what I'm saying is he was with the promotion for a little bit longer than his last reign. Like he'd been around until 2010, I think.
Right?
He had
Yeah.
the belt
No.
until 2008 though, and that was
Right.
only his second title run. Like, this is one of the top 5, top 6, top 7 X Division guys of all time.
So it's time.
Oh, it's fucking time.
Yeah. No.
It's time. It's time. It's Petey time.
It's Petey time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope. I love Matt Sydal. I hope Petey wins.
Both guys, I'm just over the moon about. I'm glad that both these guys are in this promotion. I'm glad that both these guys are in this division.
Yep.
I think two sons of bitches are going to tear the house down on
Mhm.
Sunday. So yeah, I'm very much okay with all.
I'm calling it now. Petey Williams is going to somehow reverse a shooting star into a Canadian destroyer.
Hang on.
I don't know how it'll work.
So okay, it could work, but it's going to be deadly. So Petey needs to catch him midair while it's flipping and no. So the way I figured it is, goes for the shooting. Now it's not going to be the RKO,
Yeah.
but here's how it could work. Goes for the shooting star. Petey rolls out of the way. Sydal hits the mat, kind of like, how sometimes when you hit the mat they bounce a little bit off the mat.
Yeah.
He bounces a little bit off the mat. Petey's already gunned up in his position. It hooks him in the Canadian Destroyer and then gets him. The only problem is you'd be getting him too close to the corner. So there's always that problem of possibly hitting him on the really firm part of the
Super Canadian Destroyer off the top rope.
I mean, if there's one son of a bitch outside of Jeff Hardy who's dumb enough to take that move, it's Seidel.
Here's the thing about Seidel. We know that he's on some sort of hallucinogenic drug at all times.
Yep.
He's never going to tense up.
He may not even know.
It's never the crash of a car crash that really kills you. It's that your muscles tense up. It fucks your body over.
Yeah, a lot of what happens is the concussive force.
Yeah.
So very rarely is it the glass or like a pole going through you, like in some kind of fucked up movie. But it's the fact that you slam chest first into whatever is in front of you, and you tense up so hard that your muscles absorb all that energy and dispels it through your body. If you go limp, you'll survive.
Yeah,
That's why you hear stories of people who pass out after being sucked out of an airplane, and then wake up in a field like 30 miles down because they passed out and their bodies went limp and they impacted in the ground. And just displaced all that energy into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, that shit happens. Like, it's not, I'm not saying go try it, people.
Just saying.
It's not likely. But there are stories. I remember I heard a story of a dude who got sucked out of an airplane at like 30,000 feet and he hit a tree. Shattered like every bone on the left side of his body, but he survived somehow. That's fuck.
Yep. Matt Seidel's taking a top rope Canadian Destroyer. I'm guaranteeing it. Confirmed.
Aries, Pentagon, Phoenix, main event. This is going one of two ways.
Yeah.
Aries retains, loses to Eli. Pentagon wins. Only two ways this goes.
Yeah. I'm more leaning towards Aries retains because I don't know if they're ready to pop with Pentagon just yet. Mm-hmm. If Aries retains, I agree with you. Eli cashes in, and then Pentagon will win it from Eli.
I could see that. Eli's at that place where he doesn't need long title runs because he has just such a great presence about him. He can do the Triple H 30, 40 days thing.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that. The thing that I also kind of want to see and that I'm just kind of enamored with is this idea of possibly seeing who is next in line for Slammiversary to face off within the main event. Because you got Moose, you got Cage. I'm thinking it's Cage, but who knows? It could be Pentagon.
Yeah.
Could be some interesting things, man. Like, we're cooking with fire now. And by the by, it should be noted that Eli Drake is seventh all time and longest title reigns for a single reign with the Impact title.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's at that place where he's had longer reigns than Kurt Angle, Bully Ray, Magnus, Rob Van Dam, Lashley, Bobby Roode, Sting, EC3, and even Austin Aries. By the way, you want to hear something cool?
Yeah.
So this Aries is second reign.
Yeah.
As of today's recording at April 20th, he has officially held the belt for as many days as he did the first time around at 98.
Oh wow!
Yep. So 2 98-day reigns as of today.
That's pretty cool.
That's a stat that won't exist tomorrow. So Eli is pretty good. Good stuff.
So there's one thing about this card that I don't like.
What?
There is a championship missing.
The Grand Championship.
Which belongs to Austin Aries.
Yes.
That's what I don't like about giving dual belts, especially dual singles belts, to one person.
Gotta do the Kurt Angle. 3 matches in a night, bitch.
I want to see... So, here's what I would like to see. Have Aries do a grand championship match, win, keep the belt.
Hmm.
Then he either drops the Pentagon or he wins by the skin of his teeth, and he's so beat up from both matches that Eli Drake is just able to take the Feast or Fired and just mow through him.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
So,
It's also one of those things where, in this case, I'm okay with it to a degree because I do expect Aries to lose the world title.
yeah.
So then he's going to have the grand championship, and he'll be able to have that still for his belt collection.
Who has the. Is there a grand championship Feast or Fired case?
No, no. Usually, what they do is that because this isn't the first time they've had multiple belts that were up for grabs in the Feast or Fired, because they've had the King of the Mountain, they've had the TV. Sometimes they just don't have one of the belts. Because I remember one time, I think it was the King of the Mountain or the TV replaced the X Division, I think.
Yeah.
So they just only have briefcases for the belts at hand. So no one actually has that briefcase, which I think is fine.
Hmm. Okay. Fair enough.
So did you see that Sony released a new ad for the God of War game?
No, I did not.
So Sony of Europe basically just came in and said, "Hey, this is fucking impressive," and they released a video on PlayStation Europe about the Dog of War. And like the guy comes in and he's like, "Yeah, I'm super excited. Sorry I'm late. I don't mean doghouse." And then he's like, "Yeah, I made some of these documents." And the lady's like, "So tell us what you got." And the guy's like, "All right, yeah. I'm really excited to tell you about the Dog of War trailer I made." And they're like, "God of War." And he starts looking around the room. He's like, "God." And then they play the video, and it's like the CGI digital bullshit. It's fucking hilarious. And just watching the whole fucking thing, it's like terrible, but it's the dog, and he's got like Kratos arms and Kratos makeup on. It's on the website in today's news post. Like it's fucking hilarious. Oh my god, it was one of the most obscure things I think I'd ever seen. It brought so much joy in my life. It's so good.
So, I just saw a video on Twitter of Batista getting his purple belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu,
Oh yeah.
and he has to walk the gauntlet in the Gracie gym where he has to walk between all the other students, and they just pelt him in the chest and arms with their fucking belts. And he's getting welted up, but he takes it like a champ. Batista's a monster.
Yeah, I mean that sounds fucked up.
Yeah, but I don't think they're really like. I mean, they're. Yeah, martial arts belts are rough, but it's not like you're getting smacked with like leather or anything like that.
I mean mine are pretty thick, dude.
Yeah, they are very thick.
All right. My, Hapkido belts are very similar to belts. Um, the question I have is, who does the tassels?
Who does what?
The tassels. Was that capoeira?
Maybe.
No, it's Krav Maga. Krav Maga has tassels. Those things are fucking thick, and they're thin. Ah,
Let me see here. Krav Maga belts. Hmm. I don't know. I'm not seeing tassels. Oh, maybe. Hold on. No, they look like regular belts to me.
do they?
Yeah.
Let's see. Um, uh, let's see. Chinese swords. All right.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Cause I've done Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I've done Taekwondo and Judo, and all my belts were pretty much the same.
I know some motherfuckers have like some kind of like rope or tassel.
Maybe it's just the end of their. Maybe the end of their belts were frayed.
No.
Huh.
Hang on.
I don't know. I mean, I've never been pelted with belts having to walk a gauntlet after getting one belt, but I do know that leading up to getting my black belt, I got fucking just destroyed by like so many senseis. And like
Yeah, I've never had that happen to me. Thank God.
in open sparring, oh, it's just a like my my grandmaster in Taekwondo, Grandmaster Senkai Pak, he he once punched me so hard that through the chest protector I had on, I had a giant purple bruise on my ribs.
Mm-hmm.
He's a small guy, and he was in his 60s at the time that I was training, and I towered over him by a good 2 feet. I'm 6'2", and I was still probably only about 6 feet at the time. I was still probably had was still growing, and he knew how to use momentum, and that was all it was. It's just I was coming in. I think I was going in for a punch, and he got underneath me and caught me in the ribs, and it was just like, ow, my entire life hurt at that point. you know, so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sucked because you were just tapping out every other class.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of BJJ. But
And
then again, I mean, Hapkido is the same thing.
yeah, and Judo is I'm getting thrown over dudes' shoulders every other class. So
You know, that's not great.
no, but I can fucking take a punch now,
There you go.
and I know how to land when I get thrown where I don't die or like potentially break an ankle or something. So you know, I learned enough.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yeah, no,
Learning to fall is actually people don't realize it's a very
yeah.
it's fucking crucial.
Yeah, because I've had, like, I know there have been times where, like, being on a trampoline, for example, like, to talk about, like, where you just bounce wrong and, like, you go for a backflip and you just land the wrong way and your ankles come down on top of each other. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Where just the bone meets and you're just like, oh, ow, ow, ow. Yeah, so learning to fall is definitely something that most people should learn how to do.
Just as a general rule of thumb, you should.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter like what you're practicing or if you're trying to do different types of activities. You know, like knowing how to tuck your shoulder when you're going end over end is pretty. It's a useful tool in life.
Yeah.
So just it's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
I really think it's capoeira.
I mean, it might be.
This is gonna drive me insane.
Well, I mean, capoeira belts are rope.
Yeah.
That's what you were thinking of. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
they end in tassels.
Yes. That's what I'm thinking of.
So you were right the first time.
Motherfucking tassels, bitch.
You were right the first time, and then you said
Yeah,
Krav Maga.
yeah. Like Krav Maga has bracelets. It's if I remember, I forget what the fuck it is. It's a ceremonial piece. It's not something that you wear when you're practicing, like a belt would. Um, but like Krav Maga only has like 5, I think.
I have no idea.
Krav Maga, you're a weird fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, we've gone 2.5 hours.
I need to eat, so let's rapidy dappity.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta use the facilities.
The commode.
Yeah. So,
All right.
it's been fun. Chad, why don't you go ahead and give them the rundown?
RealNerdcorp.com. RealNerdcorp.com. Your one-stop shop for all things Nerdcorp. That means our Twitter, YouTube, Podbeam, all that stuff is on the website. But if you want to find them separately, it's youtube.com/nerdcorp. Twitch.tv, because we're going to export this shit to YouTube. Twitch.tv/realnerdcorp. RealNerdcorp.podbeam.com. You can find us on the iTunes at Podbeam. Nope, that's not right. You can find us on the iTunes at Nerdcorp. There we go. You can find us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at Nerdcorp, NERDCORP. Tumblr and Facebook links are on the website. And Swish, what you got?
You can find me on Twitter at X2000Gregs. That's X2000Gregs. You can find me on Tumblr, 2000Gregs.tumblr.com. And you can find me on Instagram at ASwish, AYYSWISH. Chad, where can they find your personal stuff?
In my room when I sleep. Oh, you mean on Twitter. Chad Nerdcorp, ChadNerdcorp.com. No, I know.
No, what?
So there's Luno Verde, Amarillo, Amarillo Azul, Instructor Azul, Professor, which is green, yellow, and blue, Contra Mestre 1 Graru, Mestre 2 Grau, Mestre 3 Grau, and then Mestre, which is just white.
So, if you missed any of our social media stuff, it's all there on the website. You can just go there, realnerdcorp.com. I'm trying to wrap this up because I have to go to the bathroom and Chad won't shut up.
All right.
So, you can find us there. You can find everything there. Everything you need to know about professional wrestling, you can find there. Just go check it out. And then make sure to come back here, twitch.tv/realnerdcorp, for another episode next week of the Ohio Guys podcast. I've been your host this evening. My name is Alex Swisher. For my co-host, Chad Porto, I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for whatever it is, however it is you're finding us. We very much appreciate you, and we very much look forward to coming back with another one of these. So thank you all for listening. Goodbye, good night, and as always, watch more wrestling.